Hello everyone. Welcome to this week's Socratic dialogue. So before we begin, let's start with a quick round of introduction. Everyone kindly introduce yourselves.
Okay, so hello everyone. I am Shubham Dubey from Team Useful Arts.
Hi everyone, this is Maryada from Team Useful Arts.
Hello everyone, I'm Abdullah from Team Useful Arts.
Hello everyone, this is Aditya from Team Artsy Tech.
Hi, this is Nandini. I'm coach of Team Artsy Tech.
Hi everyone, I am Ria Gulati and I'm from Team Artsy Tech.
Hi everyone, this is Swapnanil. I'm the co-moderator for this today's session.
Good evening everyone. I'm Devanchana and I'll be the moderator for this week's SD. So the topic for today's Socratic dialogue would be around science, art and technology. So we have two teams with us today. So who would like to go in first?
We will go first.
Okay, so before you begin, kindly share and explain why you chose your team name and a short summary of your pitch.
Okay, so hello everyone. Good evening. So our team name is Team Useful Arts. So we chose this name because what we call now technology, right? Previously, it was used to call Useful Arts. So you might think that technology is like only tech fields, right? But in that time, Useful Arts were the thing that were called as technology. Why? So let's just say in business today, we often separate creativity and usefulness, right? But history shows that the most lasting systems were built on both with creativity and usefulness. So in these few slides, I will explain how leadership, creativity, and curiosity connect these and why this connection matters for business. So when we look at Raja Chola and his temple, right, it's easy to think that the king alone created the legacy, right? But that's not how it worked in previous times. So the king provided only direction and resources and some stability to the artists and architects, and they turned it into a direction, something people could see and connect with. So when we think in a business term, right, let's just say company that lasts don't rely on the authority. They rely on system where people are skilled and are unable to do their best work with their curiosity and their rigor. Moving forward. So why create beautiful things? So the temple was not made just for decoration. It made for a purpose, right? So this is very similar for also business. Whenever a product that works feels unpleasant or is used only when necessary, so that is not the right approach. A product that works and feels good builds loyalty. That's why design is not a luxury, it directly affects a long-term value. Moving forward. So, yes, when we look at sculptures and ring wells or ceramics, we often label them as art. But they also solve some practical problems like water flow or drainage or storage, right? They were designed to work well to feel right. In business, this is the difference between a tool that technically functions and a product that people can actually adopt to. Moving forward.
Yeah. So changing the value of art. So did you know that art wasn't a separate hobby in the past? It was actually part of life. So in the past, people didn't separate art from usefulness. They were all kind of the same thing. So there was no line between the two. If you are solving a problem, you used your creativity to do it. And art wasn't just a decoration you hung on a wall or yeah, you hung on a wall. It was a way of living, whether it was a tool for farming or a pot for cooking, the way it functioned and the way it looked glued together. So creativity was inside everything, basically everything they did. So moving to the next slide. So now science and technology. So what is the difference between science and technology? So think of it like science is how we explain how nature works, and technology is how we take that knowledge and use it to solve our human problems. But technology isn't just machines, it is shaped by our culture, values, and what our society actually needs. So when you look at a tool, You are actually looking at the thinking and the heart of the person who made it. Moving to the next slide. Handmade versus machine made. Good topic. Now let's take a look. Let's talk about the difference between making things by hand versus using machines. When things are handmade, the focus is on craftsmanship and identity. Every piece has a bit of the person who made it inside of it. But when we use machine, the goal changes entirely. Machines are all about speed, making things in huge numbers and keeping costs low. So while this makes life more efficient, we sometimes lose that personal connection to the objects we use. But it's important to remember creativity didn't go away, it just changed its form. We went from being creative with our hands to being creative with the machines we built. Over to you, Mariada.
So when technology changes, the art also undergoes a lot of adaptation. For example, earlier hand-painted signboards were very common, but printing technology changed the advertising. Today, businesses use the graphic design software, animations, and AI-generated visuals to advertise their products. So basically, science enables the tools, and technology makes sure that those tools can scale, while the art shapes the branding and the customer experience. Next slide, please. Learning from history, like temples and trade centers, make sure that the technologies in earlier history was designed around people needs, just like businesses today are designed around people needs. Earlier, the ancient ports used the scientific knowledge of material, artistic presentation of goods, for storage and transport. Similarly, the modern businesses also combine these engineering designs and logistics to create the value. So history teaches us that successful businesses integrate the art, science, and technology. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, we can say that modern businesses show that technology is not just machines. Companies like Apple combines this scientific research, advanced technology, and design to create a product that connect to people emotionally. Startups that focus only on technology but ignore the design and the social impact also fails. So this shows that technology works best when science, art, and social context come together. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Useful Arts. Now the question box is open for Team Artsy Tech.
I have a question. You guys suggested that like the earlier societies did isolate art from use, like did not isolate art from usefulness. Do you think we can afford to like reblend art and technology today?
I think we can, but with modern society, right? Like our society got changed from past time to now modern society. We changed the definition of useful art, but the actual purpose of it doesn't change. We just change the definition, but right now this is still being used. When we create a product, right, we do a research that's in a science, right? Then we move into the actually the launch of that product. We do technology too. In the technology we also create like coding language and code that task also. So all this blend together creates a product, right? But after from past to present, if we compare, we just change the definition, not the actual purpose of that.
Okay, that did answer my question. But do you think the efficiency is still maintained?
Yes, why not? Why do you think it's still not maintained?
Okay, any more follow-up questions?
Yeah, I have a follow-up question. You said that the definition of art has changed, right? Like art in the terms of technology. Can you redefine how it changed?
Well, actually, no, I wasn't able to find that. But I think it got changed because in future times, right? In past times, we were considered whatever the art we are doing, whatever the real world problem solving we were doing, we call that as arts. But now in the time, whenever you heard technology, right, you will hear the word that only tech people should use, like coding languages, right? Or a product that is on website.
I
But
don't
I
believe
don't have a. Mhm.
Uh, is technology isn't limited just to coding or this, right? It can be anything, a tool.
Yes,
So
it can be
let's say
anything. That's why I'm saying
even
that from the past to the future, definition got changed. If you, let's just say, if you
how
go
it
to a
got
new user,
changed.
okay.
Maybe it got evolved, maybe there are different way, but how it got changed, it's still something that is functioning to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to know that you said it's changed. I just want to know how it changed because we believe that I have this perception that it's still the same. Just want to know that if there's a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. So
Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, so from one of the, I think it was the PGMS session, Tarun mentioned that technology is actually a useful art, right? So in the older societies, it was their way of living. They didn't make something and then add to it later. So I think it's more of the same, but we find a way to solve problems with it, real life problems, like thing like a well. We have drainage now. We solve problems with it to have drainage around the city to avoid overflowing and stuff like that. That is also technology. It is art in the when you go to a museum or something, but it's actually when it becomes when it solves a problem, it actually becomes a technology.
Okay, got it. So do you think only technology caused us as human society to evolve, or is there any role of arts or in creativity or beautification, or we could have just adapted with technology only?
I think technology has in the past, technology was more of a subject, right? Now it's become more of a language that everyone should learn to speak so that they can include that language in their own discipline. If you're doing arts, then you can include technology, you can learn from AI and integrate in your artistic whatever art that you are making. Similarly with healthcare and with architecture, you can integrate technology in your discipline. So it's a language that you speak. This way, I feel like the technology has evolved.
Right.
Okay.
Just one final question, guys.
So
Um, how much do you think that how much art is important in our progress? Like we have seen technologies of people are giving attention to it, that every day we are aiming to make our tech better, but I just want to know how much art is important.
When it comes to art, the first thing I'd say is it visually pleasing, right? Or is it what colors are we using in art, or what exactly is this communicating this art? I think in the same way in technology also we consider that whatever the product that we are making, is it visually pleasing? Is it intuitive for the user to use? What are the colors we are using, or the what is the storytelling we want to communicate to the users? So art and technology, in a lot of ways, when you work on either, the thought process, the soft skills, they are the same.
Let me just give you one example about that. So if today a car was designed to look like a bucket, would you ride a bucket? Will it feel uh, pleasing to ride a bucket? So beautifying technology is also part of our life. It's made for marketing and everything to make it visually appealing to the end consumers, you know.
Right. So my takeaway will be that human emotions are it's important, right? So that's why we are progressing. Is this what you guys are trying to convey?
Yes, because in arts, if you see what is art, art is to convey meaning, emotion, or beauty into a that painting you should see, right? In the museum also, when you see a painting, people get to see, wow, what is this painting? Because they see a meaning behind it. Some people see, some people don't. So that's the way when you're creating a product or whenever you're creating, it should connect with the people which is being built for, right?
Right. Thank you. That answers my question.
okay, so I would like to ask a question. So you mentioned that creativity shifted from rather than disappearing. So if I use an AI agent to generate an image, am I the artist or am I the machine?
I think you would be an artist. I would consider that. But when you do something, right? One of the major things that defines your work is the effort that you're putting in it. Um, a same shawl that was handmade cost 1 lakh, and a shawl that was made by a machine cost 1,000 rupees. So the effort that you put in, it increases the value. It increases the value of the product, and it increases the value of it in the viewer's mindset, that this was made and more effort was put in. So you would be an artist, but the effort, because the effort is low, the value would be very less.
So you directly relate effort and value together. So like even though if the quality of AI generated images are great, like I can create a lot of good images, their value is less.
To a person who took 1 year to paint the same image, yes.
I mean, that for that person only, but for the general audience, if they see two pictures, one is AI generated, one is perfect, and the other is handmade, it has some incorrect strokes or something. So, which would be more valuable, the perfect one or the incorrect, or the mistakes, the pictures with sorry, a picture with a mistake?
Beauty is in the eyes of the holder. So if you like imperfection, then yeah, you can choose the image.
I think it
Okay.
also depends what you're building, right? If you just say to AI agent to build something, right? But you are the one who came up with that idea. You are the one who came up with that thought of that I want to build this, why I want to build this. So that's the imagination, creativity you are doing with people and emotion, right? You're building it for people, basically, to use that product. So that thinking you are doing, not AI agent is not doing. You are just asking agent to whatever you are thinking, whatever vision you have to create it. Yes, Ria, do you have some question?
Yeah. You said that, of course, that it's your thinking. However, the like trial and error that you have, or the creativity that you have when you're actually creating it, don't you think that when the AI is creating it, that's also like lessening, essentially? Maybe like the effort is not as much. However,
Mm-hmm.
the creativity that the person puts in when they're actually creating art, don't you think
Mm-hmm.
that is disappearing?
No, I think, see, if you are still doing trial and error, you have a vision in your mind, now. You can't just blindly prompt to an AI agent something, it can give you something.
Mhm.
So you will ask it to create it, but still you did not like the idea. Why? Because in your creativity it's something else, and what AI built is something else. Right. So it's not according to your imagination what you imagined. Whenever you see a product building it for the people, right? If it's not the same, you will also get like, no, this is not the product I want to build. Okay, let's try a different approach. Let's try a different approach, right? You try different approaches. Even if there is no AI, let's just say if there is no AI, right? You
Mhm.
are just writing in a copy and with pen. You will still do trial and error. Why? Because you want to first get an idea of what you are building, and is it actually worth for the people?
Okay. Um, I have a 1 second. Let me rephrase the question correctly.
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Um, so, but like, okay, yes, then I understood your point about that.
Mm-hmm.
However, doesn't like if everybody starts creating all of these AI images of like art and whatnot, doesn't the
Mm-hmm.
value of the art itself disappear? Because if everybody's
Yes,
considering
it
themselves
does.
as an
It
artist,
does.
like they're creating those, I don't know, that trend of the Studio Ghibli. I'm not sure if you guys
Yes,
had a
Ghibli
part
art,
in
yes.
exactly the Ghibli art, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The artist took so much time in creating all of that. However, there are people who are doing it like 5 seconds, prompting and just getting that image and sharing it that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, look at my Ghibli art. Isn't that sort of decreasing
That
the
is
value
correct.
that the artist
Because
actually put in?
But we are moving to a modern society, right? So I think most of the things, even if you see comics, right, there are also comics that is being built by someone by hand. That is in the
Mhm.
future also gonna be built by some AI, or let's just say by some machines also, because it's removing the people efforts they are going to put in into that. But they created that system, right? When you talk about Ghibli art, you see
Mhm.
that if you gave a prompt, it gave you the art, but you didn't see that how people created that thing, that
Mhm.
system behind it, how they created that. Whenever these people give prompt, this type of image will come.
Mhm.
Yes, Nandini, you have some question?
No.
Okay. Aditya, you have some question?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you
Ria,
guys.
you have
So
some
next
question?
thing can proceed. Yeah, is it done? Do you guys have any more questions?
No.
I
No.
think keeping in time of we should proceed.
Yeah.
without
Yeah,
this.
definitely. So next team should proceed with the pitch, and before you start, kindly do a justification around your name and the summary of your pitch.
Right. Well, we have chose the name Artsy Tech because when we were going through the when we're researching on this topic, right, and we learned that how historically art and tech somehow came together and how much influence of art was there, right? So it's a fusion. It reflects the fusion of art and technology. And our presentation also shows that how true impact we can generate. And we have discussed this even in the sphere of our work. Moving to the first slide, please. Yes. So that is the very first example is when it comes to a king and a craftsman, right, or architect. So the thing is, we believe that legacy is created when power and craft comes together. It's not separate. And Raja Raja Chola, well, he gave his vision, right? He provides with the resources, he gave the funding, and the architect made his vision came alive. And without any of them, I don't think this beautiful temple would have existed. And alone, neither leave a lasting mark. Coming to present context, leaders should take inspiration and they should give the direction and the authority, and they should give the creators a platform, sorry, to bring these ideas into execute them, right? So summing up, when vision aligns with the craft, we create work that is something enduring, something that lasts. Moving to slide 2, please. Yeah, beautiful things. And we may be justified that beauty is just for decoration, something for ornamental, but beauty serves in a much more way. We can just create a temple without any designs, right, and just let it be, or create a mobile phone and have a very simple UI UX. Why should we just put some efforts? Because beauty or art plays a very significant role because it connects with us, right? It communicates excellence, it amplifies reach. A phone with a very good UI or good UX design will get more people to connect and improve with it, right? And it will drive it, and that's why beauty is so much important, because it improves usability. And when the usability is improved, it drives innovation and the legacy is sustained. So we can see that from the, I'm just forgetting the name, from the temple like Brihadishwara temple, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name, to Apple or Tesla, right? How much they have given attention to the seamless beauty, right, or the art behind whatever tech they are creating. So the takeaway would be that vision plus craft plus beauty equal to influence, usability, and lasting impact. And slide 3, please. Yeah. So when we are dwelling about the historical facts, and we are seeing like pottery, sculptures, ring wells, they all combine practicality and beauty. Like every of them were something related to the daily life, right? But still, it reflected some sort of art. Let's say they express the, like in pottery we have observed a lot of types of painting, right? It shows the history, the culture, the tradition. The sculptures are just not something portraying the king or the or the god and goddesses. It shows what a society valued or respected at that time, right? And the wells, even the position of the ring wells shows that how much a society values a community building. So in modern day relevance, it can be products or systems or teams, the same principle should apply, that it should be well crafted. So even if the tech we have, we as humans, it's our responsibility to make it, like put the art in it, so it inspires, right? It builds trust and creates a lasting impact. So giving it off to Ria.
Yeah. So as mentioned, that creativity and usefulness always work together naturally. So it leads us to ask, do we actually value creativity in the same strong way in today's world? As we know, in earlier societies, art wasn't optional. It was built into things like religion, culture, public life, and community identity. Because of that, artists had support systems. They had systems like patrons, institutions, and guaranteed value, similar to funded roles in organizations today. But now, creativity lives in a competitive attention economy. Artists and creative thinkers have greater global reach through technology, but their financial stability isn't as guaranteed. So, creativity is still powerful, but its value is often determined by markets instead of things like tradition or community need. And when creativity starts depending on markets and technology, it actually brings us to a bigger idea. What roles do things like science and technology really play into all of this? Yeah, next slide, please. So, science and technology are very closely related. but they play different roles. Science can help us understand reality, things like what is this, and technology shapes reality, like what can we do about it. Technology takes that knowledge and turns it into useful solutions. These solutions actually improve human life. Science asks, why does this work? While technology asks, how can we use this to create value responsibility? And because technology is used by societies, it often reflects human intent and ethics. So the future of innovation isn't just about what we can build, it's about what we choose to build and why. Yeah, moving on to the next slide.
Yeah, thank you, Ria. So when we compare handmade and machine-made work, we are really comparing efficiency with meaning. Machines give us speed, precision, and consistency, but handmade work carries something deeper. It carries stories, skill, identity, and human judgment. True progress isn't about choosing what's faster or cheaper, but about what we want to preserve, celebrate, and communicate as a society. So, next slide. So history shows us that technology doesn't replace creativity, it transforms it. From printing presses to digital tools, every innovation has changed how art is made and experienced. These tools don't diminish human creativity, they amplify it. The medium evolves, but vision and meaning remain human. Next slide. So if we learn from our history, ancient technology proves this balance clearly. Structures like ring wells, temples, and trade centers weren't just functional; they reflected culture, cooperation, engineering, and social values. Technology was embedded in daily life, solving real problems while expressing human intent. So, in conclusion, modern innovation should automate what's routine, but keep humans at the center of creativity, judgment, and purpose. When technology serves human vision, progress becomes not just faster, but meaningful and enduring. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Artsy Tech. And now the question box is open for useful tech.
Okay, I have a question. If you're given two options, one is that there is a technologically superior product, and the other is there is an aesthetically better designed product. Which one do you think would be more adopted by the users?
I think it depends on what the objective of the product is. I think certain matters would offer the practicality of it, but then there are certain matters who would look at the aesthetics. Like clothes would be more about the aesthetics rather than just practicality. However, if it's a function like phones or things like that, you would look at the practicality. So I think it
Let's take
depends.
an example. Let's say WhatsApp.
Mhm.
When it's created, we have two versions. One is that it's very modern and there are a lot of technology and features you're getting there. And the second option is it's very aesthetic and the UI is very good. Which one would you choose?
So for WhatsApp, it requires privacy, it requires authentication, it requires encryption. So I think because we need our safety, like we don't want anyone to read our messages apart from the sender and receiver. So for that, we would actually need the technology. And like for something, as Ria said, for something like clothes, we would need aesthetics.
I think in terms of WhatsApp, I would give a review that yeah, your future features are great, but please implement the aesthetics as well. And if the company is good, they will actually implement both. We shouldn't, separate art with technology. Like if WhatsApp is working so well because it got its features and it got the aesthetic. So do you think if WhatsApp didn't have the like they're separate or it didn't prioritize, it should have worked this well? No, right? So both of them are really important. Just because we're prioritizing technology doesn't mean that we are not valuing the art. It's because art makes it better.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions or follow-ups?
Okay, I have a follow-up. Like you mentioned that companies should also focus on artistic designs. Do you think that it it's more important that it would give them a competitive advantage, or do you think it's because like there's some cost burden because these products are technology driven, so that cost, that is the cost that they're prioritizing instead of including artistic, aesthetically pleasing UI.
Companies are doing this for the humans, right? And the main agenda would be giving a better experience. So, coming to the competitive market, see, there are two products in the market, and one is performing better than the another. Why? Because the targeted group of people thinks that it's much more suitable. Maybe it's prettier, maybe it's easy to use. Mainly when it comes to phones, doesn't mean that there's a healthy balance should be required. Like I was reading this example, how Lumia, it was so aesthetically pleasing, right? But it failed to work because the features weren't good enough. Like it failed to adapt with the other computers like Android or Apple. And Android, many people feel is a bit laggy. I disagree, but anyway, and Apple had the perfect balance of both, and it dominated the market. Like it gave the premium feel. So we observed that how three different came and how it performed. Like, and when it comes to competitive edge, I believe that yes, technologically it's good, but it should be made better. Like it should touch a human. Like why they should use it.
Did you get it?
Yeah, but competitive edge already means that if they have like succeeded in competition, that means they were automatically able to get in touch with more people, get in touch with users, right?
Like over the competitors, you mean?
Yes, let's say with WhatsApp, we have two products. One is uh, more technological oriented and one is more aesthetically oriented. So if one is getting ahead in competition, that means it's being able to
Right.
reach out to more users, right?
I think we shouldn't stop just because we are getting a competitive edge one over the another, right? That kills creativity or innovation. I mean, yeah, currently WhatsApp is doing great, and many of the apps we currently have, let's say Instagram or let's say any Meta apps, they were fine, right? We were happy or used to the UX, and why it's constantly being updated? It's not needed, right? But it is because if we don't value the art, if you're not constantly upgrading, then as humanity or as progress, it will delay down. So in our presentation, we also mentioned that how beauty, right? It breeds more innovation. It makes us think to progress more. It was even in the past that we could have just existed without just a simple temple, but no, let's make it grand. Let's leave a legacy behind. And it's same with current tech.
That
Uh,
answers my question.
sorry, just to add to a point, but I guess it's also getting an objective or like a competitive edge because the objective of the product is getting made, meaning more people are using it and they're liking how it's working. So essentially, yeah.
Correct.
So does it answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more follow-up questions?
No.
Okay,
So
so if there are no other questions, then we can conclude today's this week's Socratic dialogue. And before closing in, we can take two or three reflections. So who would like to go in?
yeah, we
Uh,
will take three reflection. Yeah. Please go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay. I feel like this helped me see that like technology is not just about machines or speed. It actually connects to things like creativity, culture, human needs, and from ancient temples to like the ring wells to the modern industries and the digital arts that we have. I think all of that reflects how the societies actually think, what we prioritize, and how they balance efficiency with the meaning. So I feel like understanding this helped me rethink technology not just as a tool for growth, but it also like something that must remain a little more human centered. So I feel like that's what this SD helped me with. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ria. So is there anybody else who has a reflection to share?